I've always wanted to mention that because I just like don't know where to fit it in my content. So I was like, okay, here we go. Perfect time. Did you guys watch this docuseries? I felt like they just tried to make it salacious. Yeah, I don't know if I would ever, if I were able to like have a magic wish, would I go back and redo my 20s? So if there's one thing I would redo is I would listen to... Hello, it is so lovely to see you here. In today's video, we're doing something a little different. I procrastinated in my notes section of my Hobonichi weeks. So we are going to catch up not only in filling the notes section, but also I recently turned 42 and I feel like I want to talk about the mindset shifts. We're also going to talk about some documentaries I've watched, dating advice. It's just gonna be a very chit-chatty video while I fill out my weeks. So let's get on with the video and I'll meet you at the desk. I don't know how this is gonna go. This is like an idea that just like came into my head and I figured we'll just like talk and I'll fill in the notes app because I've just not been very good about it. The last time I filled it in was June 29th. Before that was April. Before that was March. Like in the first 3 months, I did pretty okay. And then I just kind of like started to neglect it. And then also like I've been thinking about doing kind of like a where I'm at now that I'm like a 42-year-old. So yeah, just like things that have changed. And I think like we all get reflective on our birthdays, and a lot of things that I reflect on is like my mindset as a 40-year-old and my mindset in my 20s and 30s. And so maybe I was like, well, maybe let's just kind of like talk about the differences, you know? So, okay, let's see. What is the first thing I need to put in here? I took some screenshots of what I need to put in. Okay, so let's do this July 1. I usually I try not to do pictures back here since I do a lot of pictures in the, on the weeklies, but I just want to do one picture for Hero's graduation from preschool. All right, so let's talk. I think one of the biggest things that has changed for me since I I'm now in my 40s, and I think because there's so much about perimenopause online right now, one of the things that I've kind of changed is the mindset of weight, like my personal weight. And I've always been someone who has been very aware of my weight at all time. I think I used to weigh myself every single day, which is, I know, quite crazy. I'm just gonna hide this so you guys don't see the kiddos' faces. And then, I started watching a bunch of stuff, and with perimenopause and menopause, you say like 35 to 45 is kind of the time, your last like chance to get your muscles and bone density ready for menopause. And so I really have taken that to heart. And that's why I've been going to Bunda a lot and like just really doing my best to, oh wow, it's too light. I just do my best to lift as heavy as possible. My weight is probably about 15 pounds above what I would deem like my normal weight. But I don't feel like I look like I'm carrying 15 pounds, because muscle is smaller, takes less space than fat. So that's one big mindset that's kind of shifted, is like, instead of aesthetics, going for like the greater good, because I really want, as like a parent who's had kids later in life, I really want to be as fit and be on this earth as long as possible. And so, that's just really important to me. I would like to work on mobility as well, because that's another thing, especially when you're lifting a lot of weights, you do get tight. So that's why I've had on my habit tracker weights, even though I don't really do, I have stretching, even though I'm not really doing it. I'm just going to keep it on there because I want to make sure I am getting the stretching, like still keeping that as a priority, even though I'm not doing it. So it'll always be on my habit tracker, even if I have weeks where I never do it. But because it's like something that I need to tell myself, I do need to make this a priority. What was my, I think Memories is purple. So yeah, so that's one big thing. I really would love to not eat as much sugar, but I just have always been a sugar fiend. So I don't know how realistic it would be for me to say I'm going to cut out sugar. That's it's such a big feat, I don't do drugs. I don't do drugs. I don't drink alcohol. So like my vice is sugar. But I would love to cut down on it if I could. It's just, it has a hold on me. What am I supposed to do? Okay, this was, I think I said July 25th. Heroes, preschool. Oh, I forgot I'm recording above. Well, graduation. I've been very fortunate that I have good genes. Both my parents look very young, have looked very young, still look very young. And so, if I didn't have those genes, they're also both very fit. Like they never really had to diet too much. So I know that I'm blessed because the amount of sugar I've eaten in my life, it probably should have affected my aging. It should have probably also affected my weight, and it has not. So, but that doesn't mean it's always going to be this way, right? Like, I'm 42. They say like 44 is the next big aging age, and that's coming up, and that definitely is something that's like in my mind. I'm doing a video where my mom gifted me for my birthday the Allies of Skin 7-day trial of their cleanser, their lifting serum, and their moisturizer. So I'm doing a video on that to see the difference of the 7 days and actually like how much those trial sizes last. But I am like really cognizant. I always want to say this word, but I can never say it, so I'm gonna put it here. But I have it in my mind that I need to like up my skincare. I tried retinol and I was fine for a while, but then it just started burning. I don't know if you can see my neck. I tried to just use it on my neck, so I was like, I need to use this bottle, and it still burned my neck. So I don't know if that's like my skin changing with perimenopause. So, and I've always had like a thick skin, and I could always tolerate anything. Like the harshest active, glycolic acid, never affected my skin. And now doing like retinol, even when I do like the lotion sandwich, this happens. So that is definitely something new that I have to do or deal with. Okay, what is the next one I'm going to do? All right, so I watched the Biggest Loser documentary on Netflix. What was it called? Fit for TV. Okay, so we're going to do this. So first it's going to be the blue. Oopsies. I have to remember that I'm filming above so I can make sure I have it at the correct angle. Okay. Okay. Oops. Okay. And that goes all the way to the edge. Yeah, so those are my mindsets as far as like health and beauty go. I'm just trying to, with Allies of Skin, I'm trying to, and because it's like so expensive, but if it works, it works. So we'll see how it goes after the 7 days. I'm also doing the BT Riedel shots, because then it helps distribute the product deeper. So I'm also gonna, that's gonna be a whole different video about how the Allies of Skin is going, and just like the the before and after, but also in that video mention what I'm still using, because though I've stopped using most of the other things that I use, there is like one or two things that I will continue to use, just because. Why are you not? There we go. Just because I think it will increase the benefits of Allies of Skin. So, but yeah, that's a whole separate video. Doing that for workout, trying to just get as much muscle. They do offer like a in-house scanning where they like measure your muscle fat, like just kind of like break down. So even though you see the number on your scale going up, when you see that it's the right numbers going up, then you feel a little bit better, I think. Okay. I don't know why this pen is giving me trouble. This is the Hobonichi pen from 2024, and then I replaced the refills with 0.38, because that's just, I love writing with like a thin. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What else is new? I have this thing in my head, and I never know which video to put it in. So this is for the young girlies, maybe not even young girlies. I was single for 5 years, and during those 5 years, I met many, many men who had told me that their relationship was complicated. Yeah, always, right? Oh, my relationship was complicated. We have a kid, but she's crazy, and she said that she was going to kill herself. And I mean, I've been with Octavian since 2017. And guess what? All these people are still with their significant other. So next time a guy says, oh, it's complicated, it's not. It's not, guys. It is a line. Hopefully most of you guys know that. It took me a while to know that, because I am kind of gullible, and I do try to see the best in people. And so, I have a boundary that I don't entertain taken men. Like, sorry, like if you want to date me, you need to handle it. I'm not getting into drama. I'm not doing that to another woman. So though I had those boundaries, I still believed them. And I would just be like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. This is very like empathetic. And then I look back, because I'll pop up on my Instagram or something. And I was like, okay, you've been in this complicated situation for like now 10 years. Sounds like a you problem. But yeah, I've always wanted to mention that, because I just like don't know where to fit it in my content. So I was like, okay, here we go, perfect time. Okay, title, network, release date, watch date, star rating. Okay. Title. Oops. Wait, is it? Yeah, it's black. Okay, perfect. Wait, red? Okay. Sorry, this is very hard. I don't know why I thought this was a good idea to try to talk about life while I'm filling things out, because it's not very easy to like talk and write. But I don't know, I thought this was, how like some beauty gurus, when they do like a chat, they do like their face and then talk about life. And I was like, well, maybe this will be how I do this, since I'm like kind of in the journaling community. but maybe this was not the way to do it, because I sometimes will like write things that I'm talking about, or if I'm like watching something I'm writing, I notice that sometimes in like my entries, I'll like write a word and I'm like, that's not it. Okay, when was Fit for TV released? August 15th. I'm gonna give this one a 2-star. This is the only thing I don't like about the smaller. It's like, I think, or maybe it's just the way I write, because I can always make a pen stop working, even though they are full of ink, and I don't know how to fix it. If you know how to fix it, let me know. Okay. I guess this would be a documentary, right? What does Google say? Docuseries, 3 episodes, right? Did you guys watch this docuseries? I felt like they just tried to make it salacious. Because when you watch Biggest Loser, you knew most of the stuff that they made an issue, you know? People get yelled at, unhealthy ways of losing weight. So yeah, I feel like they just try to like sensationalize and kind of ride the bandwagon of going over the 90s, early aughts TV shows and making it like showing how bad it was. But when I was watching this, the docuseries that they need to make is for the Swan. And I know Vice did a video on it showing like how crazy it was, but I remember I used to watch that show. And even back then, you know, when we were like less PG about things, or like less empathetic, and everything was for entertainment, I was like, we're gonna watch something in the future because this is crazy. Because they would cover the mirrors, they would put these women on like 800 calorie diets, and then they would work out like 2-3 hours a day. They'd have plastic surgery. They had a therapist, but like it turns out the therapist was the creator of the show because the actual therapist dropped out. But yeah, like I remember watching that show and just being like, okay, this in the future is going to be an issue. So I'm literally waiting for who's going to pick that up, because that was such a, yeah, of all the reality shows, that one I was like, this is so wrong. I mean, I'm watching it, so obviously I was contributing to them continuing, but it was, it was crazy. Because during that time, I kind of had like, I never was diagnosed with an eating disorder, but I definitely was not healthy in the way I was eating. And so I looked at that and was like, that's aspirational to only eat 800 calories and work out 3 days. And then I did that 1 year and I landed myself into the hospital because, that's another story. Okay, let's see. All right, let's talk. Let me just write what I just said. So there's that. Some of these colors I never used, like what is health and beauty. Yeah, I should just talk about the products I use. At the end of this year, I would like to do a video where I go over everything I've used. I've thought about doing it like now because I feel like I will forget everything. So maybe I just need to start like doing the health and beauty and putting all the products I've used, and then I can go back to it later on. But yeah, things of interest. What did we put for things of interest? I've used things of interest? No. Then why is there so few things of interest? That's weird. I don't see a pink one. I don't even know what things of interest would be. Recipes I have. And thoughts and quotes. Yeah. This is good, like next year. So I think like one of the things that with the journey in Hobonichi, like last year was just trying to be consistent, getting layouts, seeing what works for me in the weekly, And this year, I've been pretty good about the monthly, week, because I got the weekly down, and then I've been kind of bad about the notes. So next year, I'll try to be better with the notes. And I think that's the way we should like tackle things, is not to just like be professionals right off the bat. Like we should definitely, you know, you grow to become an expert. Because I'm in no way an expert in anything. I am the jack of all trades, the master of none. So whenever I see like people on YouTube and they like just know everything, I'm like, they're just so smart, you know? Okay. All right, so we'll do Vegas next. I think that would be because we were in Vegas in August, and then I went to Dutch Brothers. So let's do, this is gonna be memories. Yeah, some memories, purple. Yeah, so if you're someone that is, oh no, I hate this thing because it always like cancels my recording if I leave it too long. If I leave it long, yeah, because it's been like 30 minutes. Hopefully you got stuff. Yeah. So if you're someone that's new in journaling and you feel like you're a little, you know, not disenchanted. What is the word I'm thinking about? Discouraged, because you're comparing yourself to people that have been doing it for years. No, this is only my second year. And, you know, finally got this down. Like I feel like really good about my layouts. I have a good amount where I can refer back to if I like get stuck and don't want to like create a new layout. And then as far as monthly goes, I'm just making sure that I am being on top of it, filling it out so I can, you know, just kind of like look back and see. I'm also filling out as I go and like being okay when I have cancellations. It actually like adds character, you know, because life happens. And so, yeah, so this year was focusing to make sure that I had my monthlies, and then next year I will be better about my notes. Okay, so let's do the memories. Oh, this is so big. Will it all fit? I mean, should I just do this? Okay, I'm just gonna put, let me see, when were we? It was like August. Oh yeah, go back here. August 6th through the 8th. Okay. That's fine, right? Because all I'm just trying to do is put in a memory. I would like to put it this way, but I don't think it'll fit. It will. Okay. I need to get better about keeping things when we go out. That is my goal for next year, is just to be a little bit better on, you know, the notes. So keeping things for us. Okay, next would be September 2nd. And this is going to be entertainment. It's just all entertainment and memories. Another thing that has kind of changed in my mindset, sorry, I know I'm like all over the place in this video. Another thing that's changed in my mindset is the clothing. I've been someone who loves to wear something once, buy something special for occasion. And maybe it's just because right now we don't have that disposable income that my mindset is kind of changed. But also like watching so many people on YouTube, so many people on TikTok that talk about the quality of fabrics, that like really has made me very aware. You know, I used to like, I mean, I still do love Free People, but I've been watching people that talk about it and just polyester, like polyester is everywhere. And it's crazy that you know, a lot of the stuff that Free People have is polyester and they charge so much. I want to get better at thrifting. I would love to be a good thrifter, but I don't know if I have the patience or the eye to do that. Like, I think it's maybe like when I'm not so busy with kids. When is that? In 18 when Hero turns 18. So yeah, I don't know. But yeah, like I just, you know, I used to just like buy something for a day or a event, and then just be okay to like donate it. But now, you know, you go to Goodwill and everything's just polyester. You find like Shein. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So yeah, like I haven't really purchased anything. I've been doing the rental subscription services. I just did another one because I'm going to review Bento. So we'll see. But I do like doing the rental subscription service because then it appeases that like wear something once, but then, you know, I send it back, but then it sucks when you're not doing the rental, because then I'm like, well, then I'm just stuck with like my boring old clothes. So yeah, I haven't figured out, you know, what's the workaround, because I do want new clothes, especially if I start working again. I don't have anything that's like appropriate to be in office. But yeah, we'll see. Okay, this is gonna be, I watched Unknown Number. That was a crazy show. I watch a lot of things on it after. I love commentary channels. I'm gonna give this a 3, 4. Because after watching like so many commentary people talk about that and kind of like what Netflix missed, they also, I don't know like how I feel about Kendra getting a platform to, you know, tell her side of the story when she's the one that was very inappropriate with a minor. Yeah, that's why I'm giving it, oh wait, no, not 5. Oh. No. Okay. I watched it after like all the online discourse came, so I knew what the twist was, but it's still crazy because the way that she was talking on there, he would be like, not expect her to be the, you know, it's still very shocking. But I just, yeah, I don't know how I feel that she got to like be on there so much. Like, she probably had the most camera time on that documentary, and essentially she went to jail for it. And I kind of agree with like Owen's mom, because some of the stuff that she was texting is like very inappropriate. You should not be sending that to like a 14-year-old that is dating your daughter. Like, what a weird, I don't know. And then I think I was watching iNabber, and he was saying like, why do they not have like a psychiatrist come on and kind of like explain, instead of like having the cop, you know, not like not diagnosed, but like he just like, maybe it's like Munchausen's probably proxy in like a tech space. Yeah. Okay. And then last one, just gonna put this. I'm just gonna put partially. I didn't finish my birthday week, so maybe I'll put, and then, so I'll just cut this part off. Okay. This is memory. All right, this is the last one. So let me think. Is there anything else I want to mention about turning older? So funny, like when you're in your 20s, they make you feel like older women are jealous of you. And maybe there are some women, but I just don't have that thought in me. Like, I don't see women as my competition. Maybe it's because, I'm in a relationship, I have children. Like, that's, I'm just not in that mind frame. But, I don't feel like women are my competition. I don't feel like especially younger women, are not my competition. They're like living their fullest life, and I'm happy for them. And I don't know if I would do my 20s again, because it was very hard. A lot of heartbreak, a lot of changes. Felt very lonely a lot of the time, even though I was surrounded by so many people. And so, I think, I don't know if I would ever, if I were able to like have a magic wish, would I go back and redo my 20s? So if there's one thing I would redo, is I would listen to more people about financial advice, because I remember I was like 19, and the place that I worked at, the company matched 100% dollar for dollar for 401k. And my GM was like, you should get on this. But I was living paycheck to paycheck. And so I was like, I don't even want to like spare $20. And now I wish I would have. Like, even $20, I don't think it would have made a difference, because you would take it out before tax. And then, at 19, you put in a 401k, like I could have had like a nice little nest egg, instead of like, trying to play catch up right now. But that's my one thing, is like, you think you have all the time in the world for financial health, and then you don't. You're a millennial and you go through so many financial crisis, world-altering events. And so that would be my one thing. My fiance's a financial advisor, and one of the things that we're going to do for our kids is, we're not doing the 529C. We're not going to do that. We're going to set them up with whole life policies, because the whole life policy is like, once you get to a certain premium, the interest, we'll start paying for the premium, and then you can borrow against it. And the whole life policy is yours. So you can borrow against it, and then, whatever's left over when you pass can go to your beneficiaries. But I'm just thinking, like, for my kids, like, if we do getting them when they're kids, is like the least amount you're going to have to pay as far as like the premium goes, because they're young. And so you can always then, like, when they get to like age and they're like, I want to buy a house when they're 30 or even 20, in their 20s, they can borrow against it and get like the down payment for the house. So I'm just trying to hopefully set up my kids for a better position. It is nice that Octavian is financial advisor, because then he had, these are things that I don't, like, we would have probably never known about if he wasn't a financial advisor, because who knew about what, getting a whole life policy for your kids? Probably rich people, right? Yeah, rich people probably know that, because they know all the ins and outs of all that stuff. So, okay, let me write really quick. Okay. I'm starting to run out of battery on this one soon, so good thing this is the last one. Okay. But yeah, I think that's this is a good place to stop as far as like, changes that I made in my 40s, things that I wish I would have done differently. yeah, let me know if you guys like this. It was just kind of like, oops, I'm gonna put this in here. It was just kind of like a thought like, oh, maybe I'll try to do like a little catch up and talk, since I'm not doing the weekly of my Hobonichis where I get to like kind of talk about life. So yeah, I'm actually very interested to see if you guys like this. And I'm such a procrastinator on the notes. So if you do like this, I will probably do this in another couple of months. And then hopefully in 2026, I will be much better at doing notes that I don't have to play catch up. So I guess that is it for this video. Thank you if you made it to the end. Thank you so much for making it to the end. And if you're new here, it would mean so much if you were to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification button. I know my content is kind of all over the place. I love journaling. I think journaling will always like be one of the main things, but I also love reviewing things. And so I'm kind of just like doing the things that calls to my heart. So I hope you guys don't mind. And yeah. All right. See you guys on the next one. Bye.